This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hours-long meetings, deadlines looming, and a trade deal that's closer now to being a done deal. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is still in Washington, hammering out the final details of a potential deal with Trump's top trade official. The new deadline? Friday at midnight. Canadians are closely watching what the trade-off will be for tariff relief. And Manitoba's Premier says Canada should be ready to push back harder. Ashley Burke has the details.
Minister Dominic LeBlanc back in Washington, ironing out the details of a potential deal with Donald Trump's team.
Canadians expect us to get a deal that's in the economic interest of Canada and Canadian workers. We're very close. We continue to make progress. And we're going to stay here and do the work that's necessary until we get to that point.
Back home, Manitoba's Premier says Canada should push for a better deal.
I think we should fight. I think Donald Trump is very weak. You can't make a good deal with a bad person, because who's to say that's not going to be undone?
Wab Kinew says the Prime Minister didn't tell premiers how much Trump's willing to lower his tariffs, and worries Canada could lose its leverage if it puts American booze back on the shelves, like Mark Carney asked.
I wouldn't say that he was begging us, but what is the step before begging?
Quebec's Premier also hasn't decided if she'll do it or what she thinks of the potential deal, even after speaking to Carney again.
He called me and we had a long conversation, and he had answers to my questions. So we are now analyzing.
As trade talks continue, polling shows there's not a lot of public support for concessions.
There's still deep animosity towards the Trump administration, to the United States. That feeling of betrayal, I don't think has really left. And so there's not a lot of appetite for anything that doesn't get us back to the kind of relationship we had before.
If a deal is signed, it will be up to the Prime Minister to try and sell it to Canadians. And Mark Carney has a lot at stake. He was elected on a promise to stand up to Donald Trump. So this could be one of his biggest tests yet. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
For now, Manitobans are cautious of what's being decided. Relief for steel and aluminum industries is expected, but some worry it won't be enough. And when it comes to booze, Wab Kinew had a message to Manitobans. If American alcohol gets restocked, don't buy it. CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco reports.
Raw steel at this factory in the arm of Springfield transformed en masse before hitting the market. But Brunswick Steel President Justin Kopp says it's been a challenging year.
Our overall volumes probably down 30%.
The U.S. slapped Canadian steel exports with a 50% tariff in June 2025. Kopp says that disrupted a largely open market. Steel in the States more expensive to buy, and its value in Canada depressed.
There's too many suppliers and not enough finished goods being shipped out, so it's created more competition, which further erodes the margins.
A new round of Canada-U.S. trade negotiations is hoping to change that. A source with knowledge of the deal says U.S. levies on steel and aluminum are dropping to 25%. While good on paper, Kopp says that slash won't bring enough relief to the industry.
Steel components will remain 25% more expensive in some situations. It just doesn't make sense from that standpoint.
Hunter Wire, a steel goods manufacturer in Winnipeg, doesn't see the drop as a deal either. With a levy, pricing and availability won't stabilize.
Anything short of trying to get back to where we were 18 months ago, I think is a big loss for us as Canadians.
A sticking point in the deal is U.S. alcohol. The Prime Minister is asking provinces to sell it again. Manitoba hasn't agreed yet. But if booze returns, Premier Wab Kinew says consumers should leave it on the shelf.
We still have agency. We can still make the choice. We can still say Crown Royal is better than Jack Daniels.
But a former Winnipeg man who now makes wine in Napa Valley, California, says U.S. alcohol should not be all lumped together.
Canada can help the economics of the states that are actively working as allies with Canada to fight these misguided policies.
The feds also asked Manitoba to lift provincial restrictions on American firms competing for government business. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Now, CBC asked Winnipeggers how they would feel about American booze being back on the shelves.
You know, when you're dealing with a guy like Trump, you have to make some concessions and you got to hold his hand like a little boy. So making that concession, knowing that Canadians have their elbows up higher than the Gordie Howe Bridge, is probably a smart move. We're not going to buy it.
I definitely just hope that it means better things around the way for the relationship of the two, because there's a lot of people that rely on both sides of the border being in good cahoots.
I think it's a great idea. I think we need to follow the lead of Prime Minister Carney, and I think it's going to be a good smoothing over period for all the tariffs and all the conversation.
Do you think you guys will buy American booze?
Probably not today.
I don't even think
I don't really know where
it's
booze
American
is
anymore.
from. Yeah. I don't know. I'm bottom of the shelf guy.
All I know is Winnipeg brands now.
Yeah.
The federal and provincial governments are being accused of violating the Charter of Rights and Freedoms by underfunding legal aid for criminal defense. The constitutional challenge is being called a first of its kind in Canada. CBC's Rosanna Hempel reports.
People being detained unjustifiably or wrongfully convicted. These are some of the realities and risks that the Canadian Civil Liberties Association alleges exist in the justice system due to legal aid underfunding.
The association is asking a court to find that this underfunding breaches charter rights.
A central promise of our justice system is equality under the law. We expect that a person, no matter rich, middle class, or poor, will be treated equally. But while that may be our system's promise, it is not its reality.
Legal aid is a federally and provincially funded program. It provides legal help to people who can't afford to pay for a lawyer. The court filing alleges that the underfunding violates 3 sections in the Charter, including the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty and the right to equal protection and equal benefit of the law. The association's Shakir Rahim says eligibility guidelines exclude too many people from legal aid, and bail hearings and other proceedings now take more time and are getting more expensive.
In Manitoba, the crisis is particularly acute.
He says the association decided to file its case in this province partly because the amount legal aid is spending per case is one of the lowest in Canada at $953 in 2024-2025, compared to an average of about $3,500. CBC News did not hear back from Legal Aid Manitoba, but online it says it's compensated modestly and tries to work with as many low-income Manitobans as possible. The Civil Liberties Association says if the court agrees with them, Manitoba will be obligated to make changes, which could include more funding for legal aid.
We are not asking for compensation, but certainly once the decision in this case is rendered, individuals who may feel they are entitled to that compensation could well pursue it.
In an emailed statement, Manitoba Justice Minister says the government is committed to a strong justice system. He called legal aid an important part of it. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Students in Winnipeg will soon have a new free way to get to school this September. The free youth transit pass will be given to Winnipeg students aged 11 to 21. Transit says it's partnering with the province to give them to divisions to hand out. Individual schools will do that. More details are expected at the end of the month. The cards will be valid from September through to next August. It's designed to remove barriers and improve access. Riley's in now, and anybody waiting for a bus may get a little rain on them tonight.
Yeah, in some parts of the province at least, Brittany. Some isolated showers, some thunderstorms not out of the question. We do have a yellow level severe thunderstorm watch in place for the Parkland, the Swan Valley, Dauphin, Roblin, Duck Mountain, Swan River. That's just because of some of these little pop-up thunderstorms that have crossed the border from Saskatchewan, which could carry some sizable hail, wind gusts of up to 70 kilometers an hour, and some downpours. So, I mean, this isn't anything real widespread, but when you do get under one of those cells, it could be packing a bit of a punch. We have seen some thunderstorms pushing through northwestern Ontario through the afternoon hours as well, and even some of this just south of the border into Minnesota, carrying some hail with it through the Fort Francis area through the afternoon. So a little bit of instability in between that, though. Some clearing skies, back to a mix of sun and clouds through the Interlake and into parts of the Red River Valley through the afternoon hours. We will look at some instability pushing through the province again tomorrow, but I mean, as for today, temperature is very comfortable once again. 24 for Winnipeg, and as we get through the night tonight, looking at the possibility of some patchy fog, light winds, 12 degrees overnight, slim chance of a few isolated showers as we head through the mid-morning into the afternoon. And Brittany, that does carry with it the risk of some thunderstorms as we head through the afternoon as well.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Will a plan to create more wholesale marketplaces for food help lower your grocery bill? We take a look at the idea after the break. A man convicted of killing a Ukrainian newcomer in Winnipeg has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Ethan Gladue stabbed the victim as he walked to work in 2023. CBC's Caitlin Gowerluck was in court and has the latest.
Yulia Rubinek says the day her husband was killed, she lost her sense of security, meaning, and joy in life. A prosecutor read those comments Thursday from a victim impact statement the widow wrote, as the man convicted of killing her husband was sentenced to 10 years in prison. 46-year-old Ivan Rubinek was stabbed as he walked to work one morning in December 2023. The father of two collapsed near the intersection of Watt Street and Talbot Avenue in Winnipeg. Then 19-year-old Ethan Gladue, seen here on a transit bus the morning of the stabbing, was charged with second-degree murder. A judge later found him guilty of manslaughter. Prosecutors had asked for a 15-year sentence for what the judge called a senseless, unprovoked attack. Gladue's defense wanted a shorter term that would keep him in provincial custody and then on probation, saying Gladue has severe cognitive deficits and needs support. When given the chance to speak, Gladue read quietly from a statement he'd written, apologizing for the pain he'd caused Rubinek's family and saying he's haunted by guilt. Caitlin Gowerluck, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A vacant building will now be demolished after a fire ripped through it for a second time earlier today. It happened at 6 a.m. on Argyle Street near the Disraeli Bridge. Crews arrived to heavy smoke and flames coming out of the house. Firefighters were unable to safely enter the building and used an aerial ladder outside instead. The fire caused severe smoke and water damage and already had sustained significant damage from a previous fire in June. Because of structural concerns, it will now be demolished. Manitoba will welcome a major movie icon to help inspire women at a film trade conference this fall. You may know her from her roles in Jackie Brown and Miami Vice. Pam Greer is heading to Winnipeg to be the keynote speaker at Canada's Supporting Women in Film Trades Conference. The October event brings together women from across the country who work in film or aspire to get into the industry. This year's theme is breaking barriers and building careers.
And I can't really think of a better person that has such a lifetime of experience working in film, and her films are excellent, her performances are strong. She's an excellent actor, and she's done a variety of things, whether it's acting, directing, producing, so she just brings a lot of experience.
She's been described by Quentin Tarantino as cinema's first female action star who transformed Hollywood's portrayal of women and Black performers. The federal government has a plan to lower grocery prices, and it includes spending $1 billion on food infrastructure. That includes wholesale marketplace, also known as food hubs and food terminals. Manitoba's only food hub likes the idea if there's demand, but it questions how it will balance fair prices for local farmers while lowering your bill. The CBC's Rosanna Hempel reports.
Carrots, chard, and tomatoes. This farm is one of about 30 suppliers that deliver their produce and products to Manitoba's only food hub. From here, Fireweed Food Hub in Winnipeg helps connect them with bigger buyers like restaurants and schools. Katie Damon helped found the co-op that runs it.
I think a food hub is a great solution to meeting the needs of farmers to increase access to local markets.
This food hub has been around for about 6 years, helping farms save on administrative and marketing work.
They have grown 18% in sales, and that's through access to new markets that they didn't have access to before.
Food hubs and food terminals, which are bigger than hubs, are part of Canada's first national food security strategy announced in June. These marketplaces allow independent grocers to buy food in bulk at competitive prices directly from farmers and producers instead of large retailers, like at the Ontario Food Terminal in Toronto. The idea is that more competition will help lower prices that can then be passed on to consumers. Sylvain Charlebois is with Dalhousie University's Agri-Food Analytics Lab.
Farmers won't grow something unless they know they have a market for their product. And right now, Manitoba is very much focused on international markets. But with hubs, you basically shift that focus a little bit more towards domestic needs.
Damon says that whatever option is considered here shouldn't forget mid to small scale farms.
I'm hopeful that in the question of affordability, that there is also a sort of conversation about how farmers can continue to receive fair prices for their products.
The province says it's closely following the rollout of the national strategy. Ottawa says 10 additional hubs and 2 terminals will be built or expanded by the end of 2028, and the locations will be decided on an application basis. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, Riley, back in. Really doesn't feel like August weather out there right now. And I don't want to sound like we're complaining because we've had really hot weather. We've had storms. It does feel like kind of that sweet spot, even though we're having some cooler evenings this week.
I mean, we're getting a nice break, right, from either end of the spectrum, the flooding and the heat and everything. So we're getting this nice sort of middle of the road, very seasonal for this time of the year. Let's take a look at the almanac, though, just see where we were through the day today. I mean, right on seasonal for this time of the year. Up to my forecast high of 24 in Winnipeg this afternoon. 15 was our morning low. And, you know, by the time we got into the late afternoon, downtown, basking in some nice sunshine after a bit of a cloudier start today. But looking at the record temperatures, 1886, 36 degrees in Winnipeg, and on the freezing mark for a low back in 2004. So that's sort of the either end of the spectrum that you're looking at. So this is really a nice sweet spot that we should be at for this time of the year. Sunset, by the way, approaching 8:30. We are losing quite a bit of daylight through the month of August here as we head into September. So our next weather maker, we do have some slightly unsettled weather on the way, and then we'll get into some very nice, decent conditions by the time we get into the weekend. That's courtesy of this area of low pressure over Hudson Bay, and more so this cold front that extends down into Saskatchewan. That's triggered a few thunderstorms in Saskatchewan through the afternoon. That's what we saw passing into parts of the parkland through the late afternoon, early evening here. As this drapes its way southward as we get through the night tonight, likely some scattered showers or some isolated thunderstorms first thing for the Interlake and into parts of eastern Manitoba. But as this slides a little bit further south, we'll likely see some of that into the Red River Valley and into Winnipeg. So if you're heading out tomorrow, take the umbrella with you. You might not need it, particularly the further west you are, but a good thing to have as that front comes through mid-morning, likely triggering a few showers or some isolated thunder showers. The rest of the province in behind this, mainly sunny skies, high pressure starts to set in, and that will likely lead to some very sunny conditions for the majority of us as we get through Saturday and into Sunday. I mean, likely a little bit of cloud cover hanging around still into northern parts of the province, but really that's all for Saturday. There could be a few scattered showers along the Hudson Bay coast and into far northern parts of the province into Sunday, but what that high pressure will do is really clear us out and really calm things down as well. That front as it comes through could also kick up a bit of wind, the potential for some gusts really province-wide up to 40 as we head into the afternoon hours tomorrow before things start to calm down a bit as we head into the day on Saturday. So overnight temperatures 12 to 14 degrees across the south, 11 in Thompson, 14 into the Island Lake region, and looking at temperatures around seasonal once again, Brittany, could see 27s along the international border though.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
They're dogs with the job. How a Border Collie Championship in Saskatchewan is proving why they're man's best friend.
All right, let's look at the radar here just one more time, just to give you a look at that severe thunderstorm watch that's in place for parts of the Parkland. A couple little lightning strikes into parts of the Swan Valley, some spotty showers. I do expect we'll see this watch lifted as we get a little later into the evening here. Let's look at your dog walking forecast now, and we have, I guess on the eve of Feline Friday, a dog-cat combo. Duffy is the cat, Shelby's the dog. Didn't grow up together, but they are best of friends. Thank you, Mariana, for sending that picture in. Could be some patchy fog first thing in the morning, particularly into the Red River Valley and parts of southeastern Manitoba. And then through the middle part of the day into the afternoon, likely seeing a few showers or some isolated thunderstorms as well. So keep your eyes on the skies. Your 7-day looks like this, 24 for Saturday, up to 27, a very decent weekend ahead. And looking at temperatures remaining in the mid to high 20s into early next week. Some prized pooches are competing to be top dog in southwestern Saskatchewan this week.
The dogs and their owners are taking part in the Canadian Border Collie Association Championships. They're competing to work live sheep across a field. That's tonight's Daily Lift.
I thought today went pretty smooth. We ran 55 dogs today. There's over 100 handlers here, and they're here for over 10 days. They're from all over the place, and they're all staying here in our community. We have 370 sheep on hand.
I think it was a lot of fun. I think the sheep, you know, kind of won at times, but I think that's also what makes good dog trials.
Sometimes we get on some of these trials and the sheep are so nice, they don't really show what the dogs are made of, where this trial was doing a really good job of showing dogs that had experience and handlers that had experience.
They really are kind of working on their own, even though the handler is obviously whistling and telling, but they have to use their brain.
What a dog trial is it's depicting stockmanship. It's still depicting what the rancher and farmer and shepherd does at home. We want to see a dog do quality work looking after the sheep. For the people that want to come and watch, it's a really good display of stockmanship.
Good girl. That was a lot, but you did really well. Yeah, good girl.
I love the tongue hanging out the side of the mouth, because Border Collies have so much energy, and you can just see they really need to run it off.
I'm sure both them and the sheep are probably tuckered out by the end of the day, though.
Exhausted.
After all of that running.
Right? There's the tongue. That's why. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.